Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the Chicago White Sox March to, I called it March to October. This is franchise. But of course, the reason I called it March to October is because this is a continuation of our White Sox March to October that was finished. Obviously, long series on my channel. Most people, I would assume, that are watching this video probably watched that March to October. But yeah, I said for a while during that one that I wanted to continue it in franchise mode, and that is what we're doing today. So I haven't done anything yet. I'm doing this whole off-season live, so I haven't gone in to look at free agents or anything yet. I really don't. I have a plan though. I have at least a outline of a plan. And this is probably going to be a little bit longer of a video. I think my franchise videos in general, I'm probably going to have be a little bit longer than the March to October episodes were. But this one might be a little bit longer even than I plan on for a normal episode, just because we got a lot to do in this off season. So I think before I actually sim to the off season, before we get everything started, I'm going to go over kind of what my rough plan is for the team. So I'm just going to go into the roster and kind of go through position by position and basically give my thoughts on what I am thinking we're going to do for this team. And the first thing I want to put out there before we start anything is just make sure you realize that these are the rosters from before opening day, because remember, this year opening day was end of July, but the rosters for March to October are from way back in March. And obviously after this season in real life, the White Sox have a very different look than they did, and a lot of people maybe played better than we assumed, and people played worse. So just make sure to keep in mind that distinction of how different these rosters are. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to hop in here. I'm going to skip pitchers because that's what's a little bit more complicated. So we're going to save that for the end. We're going to go to catcher, and right away it kind of comes into play why I want to keep that distinction between the real life White Sox and the game White Sox. So catcher, starter, pretty simple. Grandal is going to stay here. In real life, the White Sox signed him to a 4-year contract. So we have that same contract for him, so we got 3 years left of him. But what comes into play here is for backup catcher. Obviously, we need a backup catcher. And what happened is in March to October, we had both James McCann and Zach Collins on the roster. You don't have the freedom in that mode to make roster moves whenever you want. So we were stuck with both of them. And what the game decided to do in simulation is it just didn't use James McCann at all. So you can see here, he only had 5 at-bats, 7 plate appearances total. So we may as well have not even had him on the team. So I'm thinking, since his contract's going to run out, we're just going to let him walk. Zach Collins, I like him as a backup. I don't think he's going to be like our future catcher to replace Grandal, because even though he's got good potential and he went up a decent amount this year, he is going to be 26 because everyone ages 1 year in the off season. They don't have like individual birthdays or whatever. So he's going to be 26. He's still only going to be, what is he actually? Well, it says he's a 79, which is pretty solid. But like, the hitting isn't really there. The fielding's pretty good, but it's not like elite. And I don't really know how high his ceiling actually is. Like, I don't know how much better he's going to get in a short amount of time. So he is a good guy to keep as a backup, and he might be a good guy to have if we need like a buffer between Grandal and who our next main catcher is going to be, if we like draft a catcher this year or the next year, something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much catcher. So we're not gonna have James McCann stick around. And then first base is a little bit more exciting. So again, remember, this game played out a lot differently than the regular season. In real life, Jose Abreu, MVP candidate, they updated his attributes to make his hitting like crazy good across the board. We didn't get that in the March to October. He just had kind of a normal Jose Abreu season, which isn't bad by any means, but it's not MVP caliber. So he's still going to be our starting first baseman, obviously. We still are going to have 2 more years of him on his contract. So he's going to be there. But who we're not going to bring back, at least I don't plan on bringing him back, is Edwin. He was on a 1-year deal. Obviously, if you watched the March to October, you would know that he went off in the season. Like, he put up maybe the best season of his career at age 37. So he didn't really downgrade that much. I mean, especially for a 37-year-old in the game, usually they downgrade a ton. So we're not going to be bringing him back, whether he retires or we just let him walk. I don't really see us bringing him back, but I am planning on calling up Andrew Vaughn. I'm surprised he's only a B potential, but he had crazy improvement in the minor leagues, like plus 11 to power versus righties. So we're probably going to have some combination of him as DH and Abreu at first, or the other way around, whatever. And then second base, we're probably going to have Nick Madrigal start. Maybe keep Danny Mendick for a little bit while Madrigal develops, but we're probably going to start Madrigal. So then at third base, really nothing to talk about. Moncada's going to stay there. He had a crazy good year. Lots of improvement on his hitting numbers, except for contact, I guess. But his power numbers went way up. 40 doubles and 42 home runs. That's really good. So then at shortstop, pretty much same thing. Tim Anderson's not going anywhere. I'm pretty sure all these guys we have control over too. So yeah, Anderson for a while. We probably, Moncada, we're going to have to, I guess, renew his contract, or is he in arbitration now? One of the two. But he's not going anywhere. Probably are going to be able to sign him long term, actually. I think we're going to have a lot of money, but we'll get to that later. Eloy, he's staying in left field, not going anywhere. Probably our team MVP on the year. You can see his hitting numbers went way up. Power plus 9 to righties. He had 50 homers and had a 330 average. You just don't see that. But another left fielder I want to address, he would have been really nice to have in the March to October, but I'm probably, if I re-sign him, which I don't see why I wouldn't, because his contract does expire, but I think he's probably just a renewal. But like, dude, how can you not have a lefty bat with 95 power on the bench? Like, this dude, he's probably not going to get much better than he is right now, being only a C potential, 27 years old. But like, this dude is going to be a beast off the bench, and maybe even as a DH against righties. So I'm actually excited to get him on the roster. And then we got Luis Robert in center, obviously not going anywhere either. I wish, like, this is one of the players that I wish we could have an updated roster for, because of how good he started off the year in real life. He got a lot of attribute boosts, especially to fielding. Like, his fielding would be in the 80s, but he just didn't end up the same way in our game. Like, he didn't put up quite the same power. He was a better all-around hitter probably, but yeah, he just kind of had steady improvement across the board. And I would have really liked to see, like, on some of our other guys where they had like plus 10 or plus 9 to power or something. He just didn't get that much. But he's obviously going to keep improving. He's got an A potential. But then here with these next two guys, I really haven't decided exactly what I want to do. I don't know. I should probably find out how many roster spots we actually have, because I'm probably only going to have 5 guys on the bench. But both their contracts running out. I know we all know that I wasn't a fan of Leury during the March to October, but he still is a versatile backup that could be useful. Angle, he really does not hit well, and his fielding, man, they don't give him enough respect on his fielding ratings. I feel like he should easily be a 85 plus fielder, but only 74, so I don't know if that's enough to justify keeping him around just for his fielding. And then another one, Sox fans, don't hate this, because I know we don't like Mazzara really that much, because he was not very good in the regular season. But in this game, he was a tank. He was really good in the postseason, but also really good in the regular season. The power didn't really show up, or home run power at least. Only had 14 home runs. It was the lowest of his career, but he did hit 34 doubles, and he also hit over 300, which is a lot better than he hit in the rest of his career. And we got plenty of power on this team, So I don't really care if he's not putting up the power numbers. If he's putting up a 305 average with a 364 on base, that's amazing. And we got to remember, look at, he's only 24. He's going to be 25 once we start the offseason, but he's still an A potential. And apparently his potential's going up. So I really like having Mazara on this team. I think his contract runs out. So, like, he'll be an actual free agent, but we will have the first crack to sign him. And he's going to be one of the guys I'm most eager to sign, honestly. So then I said pitching is going to be the most complicated. And it really is, because I still don't even know what I want to do. So first of all, I should make it pretty clear, and it should be obvious, Giolito's going nowhere. He's the Sox guy, even though in the March to October he had a down year. But I still see him being good. He's still improving. He's still young, A potential. He's going to be, if not the ace, you know, if we happen to bring somebody in, he's going to be a good number 2 guy. But for now, the ace. Keuchel also not going anywhere for the next season just because he's still signed. But then it's where, well, actually, Montgomery, we're going to keep him around too. I don't know what his contract situation is. It's going to be expiring, but it might be renewable or some sort of arbitration or something. So those 3 guys should be staying in the rotation no matter what. Montgomery, Keuchel, Giolito. Here's where it gets kind of dicey, though. Carlos Rodon. I don't know what to do with him. Like, he's basically at the exact same spot that Montgomery is. It says he's an 84 and Montgomery's an 81, but that's affected by the morale. I think Rodon's actual overall is 80. They're both 26, they're both lefties, they're both B potential. But we could let him walk. I mean, right now his salary is 4.4 mil. He's probably going to want more. So it might depend on how much he does want. But we also got to remember, we have the 2 big names, Dylan Cease, Michael Kopech. A potentials on both of them, 69 and 70. Well, actually, he's a 71 overall, but Cease, he's a 70. So 70 and 71 overall, A potential. Cease is going to be a little older, though. He's going to be 25. Kopech 23. So what do we do? Because I don't really want to wait around for either of them in the minors anymore. But like, if we bring both of them into the rotation, then that means we won't have room for Rodon or whoever else. So I'm at a loss for pitching. I have gone through this roster already and I've tried to come up with a plan, and I still just don't know. Because part of me also wants to go out and sign a big pitcher name. Like, I want to sign a Trevor Bauer or whoever else is going to be available in the offseason here to sign. So I guess we're just going to have to see how it pans out. I value Kopech a little bit more since it said he was actually a 71, so he's better than Cease and he's 2 years younger. And, you know, it's Kopech. He's got that electric arm. So I'm probably going to look to keep Kopech around. We might try and find out some trades for Cease, though, because he's still going to have some value. But relief pitching, that's another complicated thing. So our bullpen looks so much different than the White Sox bullpen did in real life this year. Like, the White Sox bullpen was good, and our bullpen was good, but for different reasons. In the March to October, I made, I think, 4 trades to get the bullpen better. But in real life, the White Sox just brought everyone up from within. So on these rosters, everyone that was good for the White Sox in real life is like a super low overall. Like, look at this. Evan Marshall, he's 62 overall with a D potential. Cody Hoyer, 58 with a D potential. Man, Matt Foster's not even on the roster. So yeah, I mean, Cordero I traded away too. That was one of the trades we made, was I got rid of Cordero. But yeah, and also a lot of the guys we traded for their contracts aren't more than 1 year. Joe Kelly, he was one we traded for, the worst one we traded for too, and we've got 1 more year of him. But other than that, it's Aaron Bummer and I think nobody. Yeah, it is. Everyone I looked at, it's Aaron Bummer, who's got 4. He would have 4 years left. Kelly's got the other year. Everyone else we have, it's their contract year, except for, I guess, Zach Birdie. So that's that's cool. So again, I don't know what I want to do about the bullpen. And I guess it all comes down to money too. It all comes down to what the salaries are going to be. If people ask too much, then probably won't bring them back. But I also think we're going to free up a lot in salary. Like, our salary, I think, is already low. I guess we may as well go ahead and talk about that right now. But this is the budget screen. And I'll be honest, I don't remember what year they put this cash flow system in. But it was right around the same time where I stopped playing franchise. I never figured it out. Like, there's just something confusing to me. Like, I get, obviously, you want to be making positive money every week. Like, you want the cash flow to be positive. That's pretty obvious. But there's a lot of little, like, intricacies that always seem to pop up that I just don't understand. But right now, we have a positive 1.5 mil a week. So I'm assuming that means our salary is probably on the lower end right now. And we're going to be offloading a lot of guys. Like right now, we're paying Edwin 12 mil. Don't plan on bringing him back. Kelvin Herrera, we're paying him 9 mil. He's definitely not coming back, at least not on that salary. But McCann, he's probably going to be leaving. And then I don't know about like Colomé, Giles. I don't know if I want to bring them back or not. But we're going to be freeing up a lot in salary. And we already have, I think, a lot of budget room. Again, I don't really know how it works. We're just gonna have to figure it out. I hope next year they change it, but that's just me. I don't know. But we're gonna have to roll with the punches on that one. But I guess there's really nothing else to look through here. But that's basically the plan. Took a lot longer than I wanted it to. So yeah, this is gonna be a long episode, so strap in. But we're gonna go ahead here. We are going to advance to off-season. This will be the last chance to see. We lost 3 games in the playoffs, 1 in each series. It was a very good team. Very good team. So here we go, advancing to off-season. And the stats will be cleared. And there we go. Alright, so yeah, we have our 5 days to negotiate contracts with players who are not under contract. And then qualifying offers 18 mil. And retired players. So who retired for us? Nobody important. Alright, I'm just going to go through here real quick and see if anyone interesting retired. Chris Davis, though. That's the first interesting one. Well, not like this is, crazy retirement here, but Shin-Soo Choo, I get he's 38. I get his overalls down to 68, but he retired on the basis of ability. Look at the season he had. He had 28 homers, batted .308, and for whatever reason stole 22 bases. Like, I don't know, it's things like this that kind of frustrate me, because there's probably not too many people who are going to retire after a season like that, unless it's for age. Like, if the reason was age, it would make sense. But for ability, that retirement then is only based on the attributes, and I don't really like that, because that's almost like, it's almost like saying the players should know what this screen is. Like, I don't know what I'm saying. We'll just move on. Oh no, Tim Tebow. Tebow retired on the basis of ability. Oh, Tebow, you had it though. You were gonna make it one day, man. Even if you were 40. Huh, well, I'm here at the bottom, and I really, on the next screen, we're gonna see if anyone made the Hall of Fame. I really wouldn't be surprised if no one did. There was no, like, huge retirements. I mean, there are some solid guys like Fernando Rodney, Hanley, Brandon Phillips, but I just don't know if any of them are going to be Hall of Fame worthy. So I guess let's see. My guess is nobody. And I was right. Nobody inducted into the Hall of Fame out of that whole retirement class. And just in case you're not familiar, they do induct the players like immediately after they retire in the game. It's not like a wait 5 years type thing. All right, let's exit that. And here we go. We are officially in the off season. All right, so we got exclusive free agent negotiations first. So we're gonna have a chance to sign people who are on our team before anyone else can. So we're gonna see what we're looking like there. We also got review staff. Everyone is still under contract, but we might look if we have enough money to fool around with this, because it's always nice to have coaches with good attribute boosts. That's how it works here, like you say, or you can see those numbers there. So Rick Renteria, he's improving everyone's bunting on the team +2, everyone's blocking +3, But then the clutch, I don't know why it's broken down into 2 different places, but the clutch on everybody's card is -3. So stuff like that. They also have the attribute grades. So obviously A is the best, B is the middle, C is the worst. There's nothing below a C. But we got Lloyd Baker, our hitting coach, and our pitching coach are both C's, and then an A, B, and a B. So we might look to get a couple better coaches that are going to give us some better attributes there, because honestly, -3 to home run per 9 might be pretty big during simulations. But that's not anything of major concern. Rebrand team. Interesting.